My name is Carrie Decker. I'm a faith based personal development coach, and I help Christian women to stop relying on themselves, tune into God, and rest in His strength so they can walk in confidence with grace. So, today I am so excited that you guys are here. If you want to go ahead and drop your name in the chat, then I can say hello to you. We meet every Monday here for Genuine Grit, Grace, and Gratitude for just a little bit of training on one of the pillars: genuine grit, grace, gratitude, or generosity. So today I would like to talk just a little bit about grace, and that is God's grace for us. He is so good at showing himself faithful. And in his grace, we got a lot to talk about. Why he shows us grace, how he shows us grace, and what grace is. So, what is the grace of God? The grace of God is the willingness, it's his willingness, his favor, and his kindness to forgive and bless us despite the fact that we are undeserving. So give me just a second here. I'm trying to get the chat up here so that I can see it. There we go. I think we're up and going. So if you want to go ahead and drop your name in the comments, then I can go ahead and greet you. So God shows his grace to us every day, all day. How does he show his grace to us? We all have to. It looks like Patrick Bidon is here. Hi, Patrick. So good to see you. Good afternoon. What is the grace of God? That's right. So he shows us the grace of God every day. All we have to do to see his grace is to take a breath and to open our eyes, right? Because he created all these beautiful things for us. He created the birds. He created everything outside, the air that we breathe. He created the water, the trees, the birds, and the mountains. All of this stuff was for our enjoyment. And why did he do that? He did it because he loves us. He didn't have to do any of this for us, but he did. He loves us that much. Another way that God shows his grace is through his protection. He protects us everywhere we go, every step we take, and every minute of the day. When we walk with him, we are in his protection. God showed me grace January 1st in 2019, right? When I nearly died in a car accident. He literally spared my life and he allowed me to walk again. So I know so much that God's grace is free and it's available to all of us who believe. Patrick says, I love this so much. I do too. Thank you so much for being here with me. I know in Minnesota it is really, really hot today, and people are probably outside enjoying the day. Um, but as I continue to believe for a complete miracle in my life, to be totally pain free again, to walk and to run, um, I continue to believe, right, that this stuff will happen. He'll bring it to pass. He often brings us exactly what we need at the precise moment that we need it. And sometimes we don't get our answers immediately, right? Sometimes he asks us to wait. And in the waiting, we are blessed so much greater. So, another way that he shows us grace is to teach us right from wrong. Why does he teach us right from wrong? Patrick, can you guess? You're the only one here, so I'm going to see if you can guess. Why does God teach us right from wrong? All right, I know there's a little lag here, so I'm just going to tell you. It's because, same reason, because he loves us. God showed us grace when he allowed his only son, Jesus Christ, to die on the cross for us. That is a pretty big, big sacrifice, right? That means he loves us so much. How many of you guys would be okay letting your children lay down their life for somebody else, right? We are all undeserving of this, but yet God loved us enough to let his son die on the cross for us. That's pretty good. Um, Someone says, God protects us in everything. Yes, he does. And I thought it only snows in Minnesota. No, it does not only snow. In the summer, it gets really, really hot and humid and sticky and gross. But to learn his love for us, yes, and because he loves us. So in Romans 3:24, it says, and we are all justified freely by his grace through the redemption that came by Jesus Christ. So give me just a second. I'm going to put that in here. I'm going to put that here so that you guys can see it. I'm going to put that in my little message box here. And it should take a minute to just a second here to show up. So that is in the box so you guys can have a reference. Romans 3:24. Once again, it says we're all justified freely by his grace through the redemption that came by Jesus Christ. So what that means is that we live in a fallen world and we sin daily. Every single day we fall short, right? And God forgives us again and again and again. Someone says grace and redemption. That's right. That is grace. That is grace in action. That when we sin and when we continue to do things outside of God's will, he forgives us and he forgives us and he forgives us, right? God shows us grace when he helps us to forgive others too. In our own strength, it's really, really hard for us to forgive others, but it can seem almost impossible, right? But God can help us to forgive people who offend us, right? And God can help us to not walk in offense. He can help us to forgive those who continue to do us wrong. So we're shown again and again in the Bible, right? Where people have forgiven when it seemed nearly impossible. Jesus forgave those who were even crucifying him in the act of crucifixion. Jesus forgave. This was an ultimate act of grace. In 2 Corinthians 12:9, it says, but he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. So I'm going to share this here too so you guys can see this. Someone says grace and redemption. That's right. And we must learn through God's grace. So I put the second verse up there, 2 Corinthians 12:9. So I'm going to read that one more time for you guys. It says, but he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. So when we are weak, we can be made strong when we ask God to give us grace. He gives us grace daily to start each day anew, right? He allows us to do better today than we did yesterday, and he allows us to do better tomorrow than we did today. In 1 Peter 4:10, I'm going to copy that one for you too. It says, each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. Give me 1 minute here. I'm going to put that up for you, and then I'm going to read it again for you. So 1 Peter 4:10 says, each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. So what that means is that he refines us. He gives us grace to walk in the fruits of the Spirit, and that's not always easy to do, but he does that. He allows us to walk in love, peace, joy, goodness, faithfulness, self-control, all these things, right? He refines us and he gives us the grace to walk in the fruits of the Spirit. His grace allows us not to worry about what others think. How many of you guys worry about what others think about you? How many of you guys are stuck in that trap of comparison, comparing yourself to others and thinking, oh my goodness, I cannot compare to this person, and then backing up from God's will, right? And not continuing to do what you know that he called you to do because you're comparing yourself to others. We need to know who we are in Christ, right? And we need to walk in that. Someone says, God makes us strong through your grace. That's right, Patrick. God makes us strong through his grace. So he helps us to understand that we are fearfully and wonderfully made and that we were born with the purpose, right? Grace is a gift. We can't earn this grace. It's free, but we always get much more of it than we deserve. So even though we're undeserving of God's grace, He continues to give it to us. God's grace is always available to us, no matter where we are or what we're doing. He gives us grace. It doesn't matter how far we turn from Him, it's continually there for us. So I just want you guys to walk in that. Just know that God gives us grace so that we can give grace to others, right? He's a good example to us. Patrick says, I compare myself to others less and less every day. That's so good. You know, the closer that that's so good, Patrick, because the closer that we walk with God, the more that doesn't matter, right? The more comparing ourselves to other people doesn't matter. All that matters is our relationship with God. And that's what we're doing here in Genuine Grace and Gratitude, is teaching you guys how to walk closer with God, teaching you to invite Him into every area of your life so that the daily life, the daily grind is not so difficult for us. So I hope that this gave you guys a little bit of thought for today. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, feel free to put them in the chat below. Even if you're watching on replay. And Patrick, go ahead, let us know. Anyone else who watched this live, put live in the comments. And if you're watching this on replay, go ahead and put replay in the comments. Know that whatever venue we are watching on, if there's comments, I will go back and see them. I don't see every single one of them right now, but I will see them later. Patrick put in here journaling. So I want to let you guys know that Thursdays at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, we do jump into journaling right here. It's me and Deb and Tennille and Amy. You guys can request a link and we will invite you to the Zoom so that you can be a part of the conversation. Someone says, pray for others. That's right. And Genuine Grace and Gratitude, as you all know, is Mondays at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time right here. Just a short little teaching on one of the 5 G's, genuine grace, gratitude, or generosity. Today we spoke about grace, God's grace in particular. So Monday through Friday, we meet right here, 7:30 a.m. Central Standard Time for Jesus and Coffee. So I hope to see you all soon. God bless you. I love you, and goodbye.